shows John Belushi as Stan Marsh, Bill Hartman as Kyle Broflowski, and Norm Macdonald as Kenny McCormick standing at a bus stop. Belushi, where the hell is Cartman? Hartman, I don't know. Hopefully his fat ass slept in so we don't have to deal with him today. McDonald, with his face covered by his hood, says, The three all laugh. Chris Farley, as Eric Cartman, approaches the bus stop. Farley, hey fellas, guess what? Belushi, what? Farley takes out and brandishes a pistol and says, my mom's boyfriend and girlfriend took their white powder with them this morning when Officer Barbrady showed up, but they left this in the kitchen. Hartman, dude, you of all people shouldn't have a gun. McDonald, Farley aims the gun at McDonald casually and says, oh, come on, Kenny. It's not like I'm accidentally gonna... Farley accidentally pulls the trigger and hits McDonald in the head, who goes down to the ground. Belushi, oh my God, Cartman killed Kenny. Hartman, you bastard. Farley, oh shit, guys, what am I gonna do? Alec Baldwin made it out okay. Maybe I can play Canada? Hartman, no way, man. I'm telling Mr. Garrison at school. Farley grabs Hartman by his jacket and says, I will suffocate you with a dreidel in a cradle if you tell anyone anything. I can just pin this on Butters. Philip Seymour Hoffman, as Butters, walks up to the group and says, well, hey, fellas. Hey, Eric, what were you just saying you were going to pin on me? If it's a tail you want to pin, I hope you know I'm not a donkey. Farley, no, Butters, but we just all saw you shoot Kenny. Right, guys? Belushi, no way, man. Shows the four get on the bus as they leave McDonald Lane by the bus stop. Cuts to a few hours later with McDonald still laying by the bus stop, with Tom Davis as Detective Harrison Yates and Gilda Radner as a police officer. Davis, well, it looks like it was a black celebrity who committed this crime. Probably Michael Jackson. Radner, Jackson has been dead for years, sir. Davis, what's the matter, officer? You don't believe in ghosts? Who else we got? Is this kid Jewish? Maybe it was Kanye. Cuts to a fourth grade classroom with Michael O'Donohue as Mr. Garrison. O'Donohue, okay, class, I just received word from the principal that your classmate Kenny McCormick has been killed. No one in the class seems surprised. O'Donohue, now, I know he used to die all the time, but he hadn't really died in a while. And it seems like this one is really going to take. Therefore, you're all excused from school early. But I want to let you know that me and Mr. Hat are here if you need someone to confess anything to. Buck Henry, as Mr. Mackey, pokes his head in the classroom and says, you can also confess your crimes to me, okay? Belushi and Hartman look at each other nervously. Farley looks at both of them and mouths, Butters. Cuts to Belushi laying in his room. There's a knock on the door. Belushi, come in. Charlie Rocket, as Randy Marsh, enters the room, smoking a Tegrity joint, joined by Davis and Radner. Rocket, hey, Stan. The police are here to talk to you about the death of your friend Kenny. Davis, so, do you know the whereabouts of your classmate Token when Kenny was killed? Belushi, it's pronounced Tolkien. But no, I don't. But it wasn't Tolkien who killed Kenny, it was Eric Cartman. Davis, Eric Cartman? The lovable scamp? He's not even black. Davis gets on his phone and says, Johnson, you know that slutty MILF you've been porking that has that fat little son? Well, despite not being black, he's a suspect in a murder case. Cuts to an interrogation room with Davis and Radner and Farley handcuffed to the table. Davis turns to Radner and says, why don't you leave us for a minute, Dal? Radner leaves the room. Davis turns to Farley and says, look, I know you couldn't have done it. You're not black and you're only 10 years old. but Stan and Kyle say it was you. Now, I'm not looking to put a white 10-year-old behind bars for the rest of his life, so you better tell me what really happened. Farley, it was Butters. Davis, I'm afraid Butters has an alibi. We have video of him eating breakfast at Raisins before walking to the bus stop. Farley thinks for a while and then smiles. Cuts to Davis and Radner at the school, arresting Peter Aykroyd as Scott Tenorman. Davis, you're going away for a long time, Tenorman. We heard not only did you kill Kenny McCormick, but you killed your own parents so that Eric Cartman could cook them in a bowl of chili for you. Aykroyd, I didn't kill my parents or Kenny. It was Cartman. Farley walks up and Davis rubs his head. Nonsense. Eric here helped us solve the caper. He's one of the good guys. Farley, enjoy prison, Scott. And dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Not Alive. Starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jen Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Tex Ritter, and your host, John Ritter. Everybody, John Ritter. Applause, applause, applause. Ritter. Thank you, thank you. I'm happy to be here. You know, I had a wonderful career and am best known for playing Jack Tripper on the sitcom Three's Company, for which I won an Emmy and Golden Globe for in 1984. Applause, applause, applause. It's also great to be back here hosting, as I was part of the original cast of Saturday Night Live. Tepid applause. Ritter. And in the first episode, I portrayed United States President James Monroe. James Monroe comes out. Applause, applause, applause. Monroe. I hope one day myself to portray John Ritter in a Three's Company sketch. Chris Farley in the audience raises his hand. Ritter. You know, Mr. President, I want to get back to that, but it looks like we have a question in the audience. Yes, sir? Farley. Hi, yes. I was wondering, do you have Kaylee Kuko's phone number by chance? Ritter. Ha, that's right. Joe King, when portraying Tom Murphy, used to always hound me about Kaylee Kuko's number. Good callback. Farley. I don't know what you're talking about. I just think she's really hot and want to ask her out. Ritter. Well, sir, I'm pretty sure she prefers living men. Norm MacDonald raises his hand in the audience. Ritter. I'm sorry, Mr. President. It looks like we have another question from the audience. Yes, sir. What's your question? MacDonald. Do you have Suzanne Summers' phone number? Ritter. My God, people, why do you think I'm just going to be giving out my former co-star's phone numbers? Belushi raises his hand in the audience. Ritter. Let me guess. You want Joyce DeWitt's number? Belushi. I was actually going to ask for Katie Seagal's number. MacDonald. I'll take DeWitt's number. Ritter. For crying out loud, gentlemen, even if I remembered these ladies' numbers, I wouldn't give them out. Don Knotts comes out on stage. Ritter. Speaking of Three's Company's co-stars, it's Don Knotts, everybody. Applause, applause, applause. Ritter. How can I help you, Don? Knotts. I was actually hoping to get your number. You're late with the rent. Ritter. Oh boy, Gilda Radner raises her hand in the audience. Ritter. Okay, finally, a lady. I'd like to think I was pretty popular with the ladies in my day. Do you want my number too, ma'am? Radner. I was actually hoping for your dad's number. Ritter. My dad, tonight's musical guest. You want his number, huh? Are you sure you don't want mine? Jan Hooks raises her hand in the audience. Ritter. Maybe this young lady has her head on straight. Ma'am, do you want my number? Hooks. Forget you. How about one of your son's numbers? Ritter. Well, what can I say? The apples didn't fall too far from the tree. But I'm the one who's here. Denitra Vance raises her hand in the audience. Ritter. Okay, yes, finally. You don't even have to ask, ma'am. It's 310. Vance. No, I don't care about your phone number. I want to know, do you recognize Taiwan as an independent nation, or do you see it as part of the People's Republic of China? Ritter. Wow, I'd rather give out all these numbers than answer that. Folks, we have a great show tonight. My dad, Country Music Hall of Famer Tex Ritter, is here. So get ready for a wayward wind just beyond the moon at high noon. We'll be right back.